I'm going to give you a quick tutorial on how to create your senior page. First, you want to go to the Launchpad, open up Adobe Photoshop. So once it opens, you want to go up to File, click New, and then you're going to set up your canvas parameters. You want to set your height to 7.5, or width, and then your height to 6.5. Make sure both of your resolution is set to 300. Go ahead and give it a name. And make sure that your height and width are set to inches. Go ahead and push OK. Your canvas is going to open. Making sure that you have the Move tool, which is the top tool, selected. We're going to go ahead and start placing in images. We're going to go to File, go down on the menu, click Place, and this is going to open up our browser. So on the left, you have all of your files. I'm going to go ahead and click from one of these and click Place. It's going to place in one image at a time. Note that now I can click and drag it around. If I want to resize, I need to hold Shift and drag from a corner to make it bigger or smaller. If you don't hold Shift, it will distort your image. Once I'm done making my adjustments, I can click Return, and then as long as I'm on the Move tool, I can move that picture around, making sure you're on the Move tool. Notice on this side we have two layers now, background and then our image. It works like a stack of paper. Whatever's on top will stay on top. Put in another image, File, Place again. Now I can do the same thing, click and drag it around if I want to, make it bigger or smaller. Remember to hold Shift while you make things bigger or smaller. Notice that now my photo of Switzerland is above my photo of Yosemite, but if I wanted to switch it, I can click and drag and move one on top of the other, and as you notice, they change places. So let's go ahead and add in another image, File, Place, go ahead and select your photo. And notice that that photo is underneath the other photos, and I can go ahead and resize it or move it around. If I click out to the edge and click and drag, it'll rotate, which can be kind of fun. And then I can move it above if I want it above or keep it below. The next thing we're going to do is add text. So making sure that you're on the Type tool, which is the first tool. Click anywhere, it's going to create a new text layer with a T, that's how you know. Up here you have your different fonts. You can pick any font that you want. You have your bold and regular. Some fonts don't have that. You can change your size, your color, and kind of the warped nature of your text. I'm going to go ahead and type out Dawson. Okay, so if I want to change or move this, I can highlight it. And I don't really like that size, so I'm going to make it bigger. But if they don't have the size you want, you can go ahead and just type in. I'm going to pick 100 points. And then I can go back to the Move tool, click and drag and move my font around. I can position it where I'd like. And if I want to go back in and edit, I can click back on that text tool, highlight my text, and I can make any changes, color, size. I can warp my font. I'm going to go ahead and play with this menu. It gives you a lot of different options. I'm going to make mine wave like a flag. It'll give you a preview. You can make it less or more, whatever you want to play with your sliders. Push OK. Go back to the Move tool, and now I can move this around. Now let's say I'm looking at my photo of Santa Rosa and I want to change it. I want to change the size. I can go to Edit, Free Transform, and it's going to give me those boxes. I can hold Shift, I can make it smaller, bigger, I can rotate it however I want, move it around. Push Return when I'm done. Okay, so now we're going to kind of play with our background. If I click on that layer called Background, I can put something behind all of my photos. So I'm going to click on my Paint Bucket tool, set my color over here. If I double click, I can change my color. I can set blue, pink, green, whatever color you want. I want black, so I'm going to click down here in the corner, push OK, click on my background, and the whole thing becomes black. You can change that however you want. Now I think I am going to go ahead and click on my top layer and add a shape. I would like to make a custom shape, but there's lots of different other options. So if you click up here on this menu, it gives you lots of different choices. I think I'm going to make an arrow, so I'm going to go ahead and click on the arrow. I can click and drag. It's only going to create, I want to click my color, so I'm going to click I'm going to make it yellow, and the stroke is an outline color. Let's see, let me make my stroke color blue, and I can make that bigger or smaller. So click back on my shape tool, and this is only going to make the arrow going in one direction, which is fine. So then I can click, get the arrow kind of the size that I want it to be, and when I let go, it's going to fill it in with that color. So now, I don't know that I want my arrow pointing that way, so I'm going to go up to Edit, click Free Transform, and now I can rotate my arrow by clicking and dragging it outside. I can make it bigger and smaller, taller, shorter, wider, skinnier, however I feel like I want it to be. So once I get it the size, I'm going to push Return and go back to the Move tool. I can move it around, whatever I want. So now I think my collage is done. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about saving. So when you go up to File, you can go Save As. Please save your collage with your first and last name. And it's okay to save it as a .psd file because we can open and import those. So first and last name, and you can save it wherever you want on your computer. Make sure it's a Photoshop file. Click Save, push OK. And then you have two choices of ways to get it to me. One, share it with me on Google Drive. Two, you can drop it onto the student server. You can get there by clicking on the left-hand side, All, when you're connected to the network. Scroll down, look for the server called student.dos and school.private. Go ahead and click Connect As. Type in your username and password and connect. Click on the drop folder. And then you can scroll down and you want to drag and drop your file over the yearbook folder. Wait for it to go in. Your folder won't open because you don't have permission for this folder. Okay? And then you're done.